Welcome back, viewers, to the Machete Adventure channel. Today we're going to talk about a serious subject, and this is not really a video that I wanted to make, but unfortunately I find myself in the position of having to make it. So we got some rough news, we got some bad news, we've got some options, and we're going to talk about all that today, so you'll see. So what's this video about? Well, it's going to be about livestock loss. And sometimes those things happen. You know, we have a responsibility as homesteaders and as just people in general that when you take on animals in your care, you're responsible for them. You're responsible for taking care of them. You're responsible for their actions, etc., etc. And we suffered a loss here on the homestead. Long story short, we lost 3 chickens and 2 ducks. And how did that happen? Well, unfortunately, one of the problems we have here on the island is dogs. And we had some dogs get into the outdoor run during the day when we weren't in the area, and yeah, it wasn't good. So we ended up, they're no longer with us. We had a loss. It could have been much worse, and unfortunately, I know the owner of the dogs that did it. So you know, I came down to the coop, and I thought I saw something inside the outside run. I looked in, and sure enough, I saw one dog in the run. So imagine, you know, I was not very happy. I was very upset, very angry. And so I went into the run, and there was actually 2 dogs in there. And both of these individual dogs belong to a neighbor of mine. And so, you know, there was a lot of ruckus going on. Both dogs managed to escape, and I saw where they got out. So, you know, about 1/10 of 1% of this is my fault. I've done everything that I can do to try to do the best I could do on protecting my animals and controlling my animals. And you know, by doing that, there was one area that was a little bit, let's say, not great, a little dicey. And that, sure enough, that was the area that that the dogs got in. So, you know, word to the wise is, if you've got an area that you think might be slightly susceptible to penetration, let it be from hawks or coyotes, or we don't have coyotes here, so but anything like that, you better address it right off the rip before you go any further, because it's probably going to come back to haunt you. So today I'm going to fix 2 areas that are not that great. One area is where the dogs actually got in. The other area is a potential spot that I can see that they possibly could try to get in. But more on the story of what transpired after the situation happened. But right now we got some fence mending to do. There is a section of fence that's broke, and we're gonna look at those two areas and then talk about some fixes. Okay, so this is one of the areas that we had that I don't think the dogs got in this area, but I did see one dog exit this area. So now this gap is pretty tight, but when the two dogs were trying to escape, I did see one of them, which was kind of a little bit of a smaller dog, although both these dogs are fairly large, squeeze through. He managed to squeeze through this gap, which you can see is probably maybe 4 to 5 inches. So believe it or not, he managed to squeeze through there. So we're going to address that today. And I'm going to show you a view on the other side of what that looks like. So that this is one of the areas that I did see a dog come through, and I think what he did is this was actually attached here, and he managed to get up underneath this and push his way through. So what we're going to address that today with a 2x4 and a chunk of 4x4, and we're going to completely close off this gap so that there's no way that anything can get in or out of this corner. The other area where I think they actually made entry was right here. So you can see that everything's kind of ripped up. They ripped the fence down right here, which, like I said, the attachment probably wasn't the greatest. So we're gonna end up fixing that. We're gonna put some gonna put some fence stakes in across this area, and we're gonna do a much better job of attaching this fence. They did not dig underneath the fence. It looks like they might have tried, but they were unsuccessful in getting underneath it. So that's good. So that tells me that part worked. If you look along the fence line, and I triple checked all this already, there isn't any penetration point at all. So if they did try, they were unsuccessful. Now when the dogs were trying to escape, they were running around in here like crazy. I mean, they knew they were in trouble. So, they were jumping, leaping, running from end to end, trying to figure out how they were going to get out of here. And that just didn't work for them very well at all. So they were scrambling. They knew if they would have got caught, it would have been big trouble. In review of this, I try to look at it from a sense of what can I do better as a homesteader. I can try to reinforce my property better. But this also boils down to what can you do better as a responsible animal owner. And, those types of decisions I'm not about to place on someone else. I'm not about to tell them what they can and can't do, what they need to do, and what they don't need to do. I can only be responsible for my own actions and what I choose to do. So my first course of action is going to be build a little bit better fence, Mike. Touch up what you need to touch up, examine everything that you've done, and see if you can do it better. And, there's two areas that, I could do better. So I'm going to do that on my part. And then, after I get done fixing this, we'll talk about what I think they could do better on their end. But, that's their decision. I might level a little bit of opinion on how I would handle it if they were my animals. So let's get fixing. All right, first step was to put a 2x4 in here against this concrete wall. I'm gonna have to drill through the wood. I'm gonna have to drill through the concrete and put in concrete anchors. That's because, you know, when putting this 4x4 in there, I gotta have something to attach it to. So basically the 2x4 is gonna act as the attaching point on this side, and then on this side I'll be able to attach right to the other 4x4 post by toe-nailing in screws like this. All right, so I got the 2x4 secured, lagged into the concrete. Now I've got the 4x4 post lagged in to both the gate post and the 2x4 that I put into the concrete. So now you can see, oh, that's not going anywhere, so that'll work. That's closed off now. So back to the story of the animals that broke in. So, you know, after that all happened, I was pretty upset, angry wise. And it's the principle of the matter. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with doing the right thing and controlling your animals. So one of the dogs in particular was known for attacking other dogs, attacking people, and killing animals. It's even killed other dogs. So this dog in particular is a known issue. The other one is a relatively new animal to the area, and yeah, well, he was actually the lead culprit of breaking in here from what I saw. So I decided to pick up the remains of the animals that are no longer with us, and I took them over to his house, and I placed them on the hood of his pickup truck, and I told him that these are yours. I gave him the remains of the animals that are no longer with us, and let him know that you know, his animals were responsible for what happened. I saw it with my own eyes. They were caught red-handed by me, and you know, I attempted to stop them, and I let him know that you know, if the animals were to come back around again, that I would attempt to stop them permanently. So I gave him an opportunity to do the right thing, whatever that may be. You know, whether it be, you know, tying the animal up for a while, you know, finding a new home for the animal, or whatever he decided to do. And as of right now, I know he found a new home for one of the dogs. The other one, I'm not sure what he's going to do. He did assure me that he was going to do something about it. He hasn't divulged to me what he's going to do. So more on that in the future if I find out what he decided to do. But you know, it appears that this situation is being dealt with, and you know, we're neighbors, so we need to get along. Nobody wants enemies. You know, I don't expect anything in particular. I don't expect to be reimbursed. You know, this is not a money thing for me. It's a principle thing. It's doing the right thing, controlling your animals, whether it be animals that can attack other animals, or you know, trying to build something like this to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen. So you know, it's unfortunate, but these things, they can and do happen while you're homesteading. So let's take a look at what I kind of stitched together for this fence. I'm not sure if I'm going to do more than this in the future or not, but I think it's good enough for right now. So let's take a look. So what I did here is I doubled up some new fence. I put these stakes in, and I even put some wire mesh on the outside. Now I know it doesn't look great, but it's actually very secure on the top and bottom. Let's take a look from the outside. And of course we have our post completely closing this corner off. This is where one of the animals exited when I caught them in the act. This is the outside of the area, and you can see there's you know, the orange fencing, there's wire mesh, there's the netting, there's all kinds of stuff here to try to prevent any kind of you know, entrance or exit from this location. Now, like I said, that's for now. We'll see how it goes. It's put back together. I found anywhere where it looked like anything tried to get in. I was surprised by some of the you know, locations that were tested. You could tell they were tested. I believe I know exactly where they came in at now. So I'll have to keep an eye on that area. You know, I'd hate to have to spend, I'd end up having to spend a lot more money on this outdoor run than I did to, you know, permanently prevent anything like that from happening again. It would necessitate a lot of work on my part and a great increase in added expense. So hopefully we can get the animal situation under control where I don't have to do that. You know, like I said, the neighbor has been fairly cooperative. He understands my position. He understands what I told him, you know, the possibilities are from my perspective, if this, you know, were to happen again. I think he understands where I'm coming from. So I'm going to let him resolve the issue, and hopefully he does. If he doesn't, then, you know, I'm going to have to do what I have to do to protect my property and my animals. Well, let's see if they want to go outside. I don't know. You know, they might be a little bit intimidated or scared. They haven't been out since this whole thing transpired, so I don't know how they're going to react. But I think they'll probably want to come out. Some of them might be hesitant. Well, let's see what happens. Well, how you guys doing? What do you think? Huh? You all right? Checking things out? Yeah, there's feathers and stuff out here from the other chickens that I didn't get them all cleaned up. So how you guys doing? What do you think? You seem like you're pretty chill. Hopefully you all are smart enough to run back in the coop if something was to happen. You guys had escaped the carnage, so I don't know how many of you were out here when it happened, but you guys all made it. Well, there you go. I mean, they all seem pretty happy. So, you know, some of them came out. There's some still inside the coop that, you know, they're kind of leery. So I don't know exactly what chickens or how many were out here when this whole thing transpired. But, you know, some of them are a little bit shell-shocked, I think. And I think other ones are fine. So I think some of them were probably out here and then they ran to the coop when things broke loose. And the others probably just got caught up in the moment and, you know, panicked. So if you got anything, down below in the comments. I'm really interested to see what you got. Take care. Until next time, see ya.